After the Bitcoin halving, something unexpected happened. A new token standard called Bitcoin Runes was introduced. These are essentially meme coins built on Bitcoin blockchain. But are they really worth investing in, or is it just another scam to avoid? In this video, we will discuss what they are, how they work, and whether they are actually good news for Bitcoin. To understand Bitcoin Runes completely, you should also know what Bitcoin ordinals are. Bitcoin ordinals is a protocol that allows users to write various types of data, including text, images, and videos, directly onto the Bitcoin blockchain. This data is also called NFTs or non-fungible tokens. These tokens are unique and non-replicable, something like the Mona Lisa. There is only one Mona Lisa and it has only one owner. Or, for a more real-life example, a flight ticket. There can't be a situation where two different people have the same flight ticket for the same plane, time, and seat. Simply put, Bitcoin ordinals allow these NFT tokens to be attached to the Bitcoin blockchain. Don't get me wrong here, NFTs existed before ordinals, but they were attached to other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum. This was a significant upgrade for Bitcoin itself because it added other value than just a store of value. Many new people started using the Bitcoin network, which allowed miners to charge higher fees and supported the network's growth. Okay, now we are at the stage where we can attach NFTs to the Bitcoin blockchain. What else? What about fungible tokens? Fungible tokens are very similar to NFTs, but unlike NFTs, they aren't unique. The perfect example of a fungible token is a fiat currency, like a dollar. If Bob has $1 and Josh has $1, who can say he owns a dollar? Exactly, both of them. And both dollars have the same value. For this innovation, something called the BRC20 standard was created. This allowed the use of fungible tokens on the Bitcoin blockchain, but it had one problem. BRC20 was clogging the network because it wasn't well optimized due to its use of unspent transaction outputs. But hey, look who comes into play now. Bitcoin Runes. Bitcoin Runes are basically upgraded BRC20 tokens with optimized unspent transaction outputs. In other words, they are upgraded meme coins on the Bitcoin blockchain. But you may ask now, what does unspent transaction output even mean? The Bitcoin blockchain breaks down the payment process into inputs and outputs to track its transactions. Let's imagine that you bought 1 Bitcoin every month for 1 year and immediately send it to your wallet. That means you have 12 inputs in your wallet, each worth of 1 Bitcoin. If you decide to send 1 Bitcoin to Bob, the blockchain sees it as an output of 1 Bitcoin from your wallet. After this operation, you have only 11 inputs. The worth of all inputs basically indicates how much cryptocurrency you actually own. But what if you decided to send 1.5 Bitcoins to Bob now? Since the network cannot divide your inputs, it creates 2 outputs of 1 Bitcoin and immediately sends you one new input worth 0.5 Bitcoins as a change. This change is also applied in Bob's output place, because otherwise he would get 2 whole Bitcoins. It's like paying in a grocery store. If you have to pay $25, you use a $10 bill and a $20 bill and receive $5 back as a change. In the Runes system, each transaction starts by finding unused outputs and using them to make new transactions. This makes things quicker and more efficient. There are 3 things what you can do with these runes. As first, they have to be etched, which involves setting properties like name, the visibility, and the symbol. Then they can be also minted. This creates new tokens based on the etched properties. Additionally, they can be transferred using Runestones, which are basically messages stored in Bitcoin transaction outputs. This involves transferring details such as output number, rune ID, and amount. In the end, runes are nothing else but meme coins created on the Bitcoin blockchain. Also, for some Bitcoiners it may seem like a bad thing, Bitcoin runes open the door for many new technologies that can be built on the Bitcoin network. Projects like this also solve the problem that arises after all Bitcoins are mined, as they increase transaction fees for miners. So if you haven't invested in meme coins by now, continue in doing so.